Good evening, welcome back. You're watching DXB today, and tonight on the show we're focusing on the World Government Summit, which means we're talking about everything because it does encompass every aspect of our lives. And right now, very happy to introduce our next guest. It's Dino Varkey, the Group CEO of GEMS Education, one of the world's largest private education groups. Dino, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you for having me.
GEMS is one of those names, whether you have kids, don't have kids, whether you've been to school here or not, we all know GEMS. And this year, you are going to be speaking at World Government Summit about the next 50 years of education. So it's hard to imagine, but what do you think the classrooms are going to look like in 2075? 2076? My word.
Maybe long after I'm gone, but I would hope the classrooms still exist.
Yeah.
Maybe not the...
You sound unsure.
Maybe not the long rows of desks and chairs that we're accustomed to seeing. Frankly, that's a relic of the industrial age. But you know, think of classrooms as purpose-built spaces for different modes of human development. So think of studios or creation spaces, simulation rooms, which would be practice spaces linked to industry or examining real-world scenarios, clinics, not the clinics that we would know from school, but actually high-performance coaching spaces. Yeah, you've got the ability to be able to put together really flexible learning ecosystems for our young people, but they'll still be classrooms, just not quite what we see. I think the default that we need to look at is everyone can't be on the same page, and everyone can't be at the same pace.
Yeah.
I think, Dino, to your point, that's something I personally wonder about. I've two little kids, and I'm always wondering, how much do you feel of, you know, I think it's now sort of obvious that a lot of what people pick up at school is not exactly useful right after school. So how much of that do you think is changing as we're looking at it? Or is it going to remain sort of, we give them the exact same knowledge in 50 years from now?
I do think that knowledge recall is going to become free, cheap, and ubiquitous. So the reality is we've got to be able to test a student's ability not based on the quality of their answer, because for thousands of years, education has been fixated with understanding the quality of the answer, but actually the way that we assess young people needs to fundamentally change. We need to be testing the quality of their questions, right? And that is, a fundamental transformation that education is now going through.
Dino, burning question I want to ask you is, from your perspective working in education, do you believe AI is a threat or a superpower?
Short answer, it's an enabler. And I usually provide this overarching context. Today, the global teacher shortage is 70 million.
Wow.
In order to meet Sustainable Development Goal 4, and again, that was reframed to not just think about access to education, but access to quality education. You add to that the fact that COVID exacerbated the learning crisis globally. So if you look at the most recent World Bank reports, they estimate $21 trillion lost in lifetime earnings for this generation of learners.
Wow.
So given that that is the context, we know that traditional solutions will not be able to bridge that gap. Given the scale of the challenge, actually artificial intelligence or machine learning can be a really powerful catalyst to bridge that gap. The simple way to think about in education for me is artificial intelligence for personalization and humans for transformation.
Cool.
Because, look, you cannot ever replace a great teacher. Their ability to inspire human potential is enduring.
Yeah, I mean, you've nailed it. Human to human is just it's never going to be something that is going to be lost, right? A computer is fantastic and it has its tools and its ways, but it can never do that. Dino, if you could redesign the complete education system as it is today, what things would you introduce and what things would you totally scrap?
Let me focus on one thing that I'd scrap and one thing that I'd add. So one of the things that we'd certainly scrap is the factory logic or the industrial logic that we still apply in education. So the idea of age-based progression or age-based batch processing combined with sort of a one-time high-stakes exam that demonstrates qualification or capability, right? That's often a common criticism of modern education, which simply prioritizes, again,
Information recall, yeah.
Prioritizes recall over real mastery, curiosity, and competence. So scrap that and frankly introduce a method of being able to continuously demonstrate character, competence, and capability over time. So one of the things that I'll certainly talk about at the World Government Summit is about adding living learning portfolios, right? Think of this as a portfolio that grows with the student from childhood to adulthood, encompassed of things like mastery maps or creativity portfolios, human performance assessments. I mean, these are all things that are really additive in our lives, and frankly, should better be able to demonstrate the capability and competence of our young people.
Absolutely, and it's so important. And I want to know, because we did touch a little bit on AI. Let's not talk future, let's not talk the next 50 years, but right now, what AI technology do you think should be implemented in the classroom or in schools overall?
I think it's easiest to speak to at least the partnership that we have with Microsoft. Again, we've been long-term partners of Microsoft for well over 2 decades, but we're co-producing with them an AI native or an AI first enterprise and learning platform. We're deploying, I think it's about 200 AI agents to streamline processes, to effectively remove the manual or administrative burden that frankly teachers endure, so that teachers can focus on what they do best, which is to teach. Very soon, I believe that every teacher will have a virtual instructional coach, and every student will have their own virtual tutor. So these are things that are within our hands today, and frankly will soon be available across GEM schools.
Will it help with the marking? Because I know teachers complain about that the most.
Yeah. No, absolutely, right? It's one of the things, right? Whether it's attendance or marking, providing real learning insights, being able to then reach back and personalize an intervention for a particular child that may be different from other children. Yeah, look, possibilities are really, really interesting.
Very exciting.
Well, Dino, I could sit here and talk to you for hours because I work on the other side, on the reskilling, and I would love to get your insights on that. But we probably have to save it for another show. But I can't thank you enough for joining us and sharing your insights with us, because I feel like the work that you do is so important and it shapes all the future generations. So thank you very much for all the work that you do.
Thank you very much.
And for joining us on the show.